All right, so we have a story that's honestly it's got me feeling a type of way. It's one of those like the worst person you know just made an excellent point and is trying to do an excellent thing. Uh, of course, we're going to be covering more on the intoxicating hemp ban that took place over the last week during the reopening of the government, because, this clean CR, the clean continuing resolution, no politics or anything, just happened to have a intoxicating hemp ban in it. All right. So yeah, we're gonna cover that, and I promise I'm not milking this at all. Maybe a little bit, but hey, this is important news. Anyways, the person that I'm talking about, that is like, the worst person just did X, is Representative Nancy Mace. And remember how I said that this has me feeling a type of way? It has me feeling a type of way because I am no fan of Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace is probably one of the most disgusting people in Congress. She is extremely pro-Israel. She is extremely transphobic. I feel like at least like 80% of the legislation that she generally proposes is like, we need to ban transgender people from restrooms or something like that. And she's a huge supporter of ICE and the overall mass deportation crackdown that's going on right now. So she's crazy. She's insane. Like, there's clips of her like almost fighting like other Congress people, and one clip I remember is like with, what was his fucking old ass name? Fucking Jerry Connolly, the old ass Democrat that took the like, I forget what the position was, but basically a top position within the House of Representatives. He was in a like an argument with her, something about, of course, trans issues, and she just starts saying tranny, which of course is a slur. And he's like, can we please have some decorum here? Decorum, please don't say that. And she's just like, tranny. I don't know how bad of a slur. I know that's a bad slur, but I don't know, like, can I say that? Anyways, I don't mean it in any bigoted or derogatory way. I'm just simply quoting Nancy Mace here. All right, I've done enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get into this article. So, U.S. Congresswoman unveils bill to repeal federal hemp product ban. A Republican Congresswoman from South Carolina is spearheading the first attempt to overturn federal legislation to ban intoxicating hemp products that President Donald Trump signed last week as a part of a deal to reopen the government. U.S. House Rep. Nancy Mace filed draft legislation on November 17th that she's sponsoring to repeal the federal government's new definition of hemp before it takes effect on November 13th, 2026. The new definition intends to prohibit cannabinoids that are synthesized or manufactured outside the plant, such as Delta THC and HHC, and more than that, because it also includes like actual flower. I call it hemp flower, and people get upset by that, but under the previous definition, this flower that was very high in THCA was called hemp. It's literally the exact same as cannabis. It's just a loophole legal wording. So that's included as well, because I think the article was going to mention it. It might. You know. I don't need to rehash this every single time. If you don't know, then get out of here. I don't know why you've gotten this far. Mace's proposal, the American Hemp Protection Act of 2025, would simply repeal the federal government's hemp-related provisions that were included in last week's continuing resolution, specifically all of Section 781 of the excuse me, I'm so sorry that you had to hear that, of the Continuing Appropriations Legislative Branch, Military Construction and Veteran Affairs and Extension Act of 2026. Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky and Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky attempted to strip Section 781 from the final appropriations package, arguing the changing the definition of hemp had nothing to do with funding the government, which they are absolutely correct on, and should have its own day on the Hill, which is also correct. It shouldn't have any day on the Hill because it should just be left as is. Oh, okay. You can make sure that there's a definite age gate in there because technically there isn't. So you can throw that in there, and also like require public testing and like access to like COAs and shit. Anyways, also included in the new definition, hemp must test below 0.3% total THC, including THCA. There it is, as I was alluding to earlier, to be distinguished from federally illegal cannabis. And yes, because like this hemp that we were calling hemp was literally just cannabis. And it was a loophole, but it was an awesome loophole, and it wasn't a dangerous loophole. Nothing about the cannabis that was being sold as hemp, or the any of these synthesized versions of THC like Delta 8, THCO, whatever. None of these are like poison or dangerous or extremely like bad to public health, like at all, like none. Okay. Especially when you compare that to fucking alcohol, a literal poison that people die drinking every single day. But one person dies from weed, and it's not even them dying from the weed. It's normally like dying from like, I don't know, an additive in like a vape or something. Like, what was it? Vitamin E. And they'll be like, oh my God. And then it'll fucking explode in the news cycles that one person died out of like fucking 100 million people, and it's groundbreaking, it's dangerous, we need to get rid of it. But alcohol, you know, how many people die a day from alcohol poisoning? How many people die a day from alcohol-related illnesses? Anyways, while Mace ultimately voted in favor of the continuing resolution in last week's 222 to 209 House roll call to reopen the government, she went on the congressional record on November 12th that she strongly opposed Section 781 because it would deal a fatal blow to American farmers supplying the regulated hemp industry and small businesses and jeopardize tens of billions of dollars of an economic activity. Mace cited numbers from 2023 Whitney Economics report that estimated the U.S. hemp industry supports more than 320,000 jobs, generating $28.4 billion in regulated market activity, providing roughly $1.5 billion in state tax revenues. Jesus Christ. That's a report from 2023. It's 2025. And as someone who has been following this dangerous synthetic, unregulated hemp market since late 2020, like I got my first Delta 8 pen in late 2020, I've definitely witnessed the expanding and growth of that market. Like it just, you could tell by the websites and the products they were introducing and pricing. Like it was crazy to see it explode and almost become mainstream. Rather than have a substantive, Jesus Christ, it's hard to read sometimes, open debate on the future of hemp policy in America, prohibitionists slipped the provision into a must-pass government funding bill, forcing members of Congress to choose between voting their conscience on hemp and paying our military service members. She said, "This is wrong." Holy hell. Holy hell. This is like one thing I hate about like shapeshifters like Nancy Mace. It's like, damn, when you find something, I don't care what her motivations for this are. I never really care about motivations for anything. If you're doing the right thing and saying the right things, broadly, I'm going to get behind you, even though like you are a monster on every other issue that exists. But she's absolutely right. Like you have, I suspect that there are a lot of Congress members that were definitely against this provision, but like more on principle or just from under pressure from Trump or, you know, whatever, wanted to just get the government open. And it was like, all right, we have 365 days. We'll fight this battle a different day and just open the government. That's my maybe take on it. According to Mace, the U.S. hemp industry has stepped forward to self-regulate in the absence of federal clarity on the 2018 Farm Bill, which federally legalized the commercial cultivation of hemp as an agricultural commodity. And yeah, I mean, it has self-regulated to an extent, But again, I'm fine with, like, common sense regulation that isn't banning it. Like I mentioned earlier, ensure that there's proper age gating, and ensure that the products that are on the shelves and on the just in the market in general are all tested and have like all of their reporting and lab results publicly available. Which, to the credit of these companies and any company that I personally buy from, they are all available. Anyways, in the past 7 years, and as intoxicating hemp products have proliferated in smoke shops, gas stations, and grocery and liquor stores, many have argued that separate definitions are needed for hemp plants in the field and finished hemp products that are intended for human or animal consumption. Many states have adopted hemp THC product regulations or bans geared towards preventing youth access to those under 21 years old, while also requiring consumer safety protocols related to packaging, labeling, and third-party testing. Exactly what I said. And yeah, you can package and label. You can put like, this will kill you for all I fucking care. According to Mace, many hemp businesses have been asking Congress to pass legislation that responsibly regulates their industry. Rather than adopt this common sense regulatory framework to protect children and allow adults to make informed decisions, Section 781 of the bill essentially imposes a national ban of all ingestible hemp products with any quantifiable level of THC, which represents between 90 and 95% of the hemp products in the marketplace, including the vast majority of non-intoxicating CBD products offered in the marketplace, she said. How is Nancy Mace more educated on this subject? I could imagine her smoking pot. Let's be real here. How is she so much more educated on this topic than the 39 state attorney generals in that bullshit letter that we read the other day? And if you haven't seen that video, I'd check it out, because that is actually the real reason why Congress pushed to get this ban and slipped it into this funding measure. Large part to that letter. While Mace argued on the congressional record last week that Congress should have an open debate on the future of hemp policy, the draft legislation she's circulating this week merely repeals Section 781. It doesn't offer a regulatory framework to debate. In the year before this provision takes effect, I will work tirelessly to reverse this harmful language and create a common sense regulatory framework which protects America's children, ensures product quality, and preserves access to products used by tens of millions of Americans. She said, as the failed war on drugs has shown, the provision like this drive out responsible actors from the industry and embolden shady black market actors who are not for consumer safety or the protection of children. Oh my God. Why is Nancy Mace making so much sense? Stop it. Stop it. I mean, continue, but Jesus Christ. Does anyone know who Nancy Mace is? She is like batshit crazy, and she just presented, she like said everything I've been trying to say. She just casually like summed it up in like a couple of statements. Oh my God. We're living in the Matrix. This is why like things like this, it's like simulation. We are in a simulation, because like, how is Nancy Mace making this much sense? It's crazy, because she is like, I don't think she said a single thing that I disagree with here, and that just blows my mind, because I loathe this woman with all my being. But you know what's it saying? Like, trying times makes for unlikely allies, or something like that. So I will support Nancy Mace in this measure, but everything else, you know. Anyone who's not sure who she is and only knows her from this, I promise you, this is not enough of a redemption for everything else she's done. But this, support this, back this. Don't back the politician, back the policy, and back the message. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.